golden hair responding to the lightning whisper to the stars. I turn my eyes into windows to wildflowers, white and black holes. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds, the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path, woven with the vine, walking the red road alive. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Flash of light and open sky, awareness seeing eye to eye. A quilt holding the silence of 1,000 rays streaming through time. I reach out my hand to feel the four winds that turn the wheel. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds, the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path? How many times I peel it back? Still the story stays intact. Free my heart of hearts. Mystery of love, don't go she love. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Be the Maya, 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 be the
True. I could breathe now. What's going on, y'all?
Yoko,
Peace. What's good? Let me stop this song. Hold on. For some reason, StreamYard being dirty. I've been stopped that song a long time ago. I need a favor from y'all, from all y'all. I need y'all to share this link for me. Share the actual YouTube link. If y'all can, to y'all social medias. Uh, that way we could, probably add a little bit more people or get some views in this bitch, get some extra views in.
for
Um,
sure, for sure.
yeah, I ain't stressing about, since I lost the Instagram and the Facebook, my numbers dropped. But I don't give a fuck. It actually the page feel more whole, if that makes sense. You get me? Like we got people, it basically you can see the same people. You get what I'm saying? It's always the same people. Um Viewing the platform, and now what I like, because it's starting to dwindle, like basically starting to drop the numbers down. It's starting to basically get to the people who actually need the info. Because this shit not for everybody. Uh, Let me see this. Hold on. Let me try to get this out to a couple folks real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Mm,
Yo, Hiyoko, what's going on, family?
what's good, Carl?
Oh man,
Cooling.
smoking on that Canelo pack.
LOL. Yeah, dog.
It was a decent fight last night. Bud did what he needed to do, man.
Nah, most definitely do.
And I give mad respect to Canelo and his side, boy. That was that's how you supposed to fight. That's how you
And
supposed to.
it was a good
That's
fight
how you supposed to win, and that's how you supposed to lose with your dignity still.
on blood. Swear to God.
Cause I ain't
I
take.
swear to God.
I would like what Andre said at the end of the fight, and I'm taking you take that third loss on the head, boy. But shit, like at the same time, it's like, bro, that don't tarnish your legacy at all. So
Bro, if Canelo losing the bud tarnish his legacy, Mike Tyson don't got no legacy.
right,
Like we're talking about prize fighters, bro. We ain't talking about you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, bro. That same thing I was saying last night. We're talking about prize fighting. Other shit go out the window. Let's see. Peace to the chat. What's good, fam? And to everyone coming in. Shit. Let's see. I ain't gonna lie. See, y'all can free y'all mic if y'all want, but I want to do a build about maps. I really don't have to show no fucking maps to do the build, but I noticed, dude, a lot of people are posting maps that are created, generated, whatever, and they using those maps to say, well, look at this map. My people was there, so that's where we're from. But that's not how that works. That is not how that works.
say that again.
Looking at a map, seeing a name, and saying that's where your people is from is wrong. Especially if you're not taking into account any other information, like for instance, migrations, right? Let me post this real quick. I'm gonna give y'all. I'm gonna give
Hold
y'all.
on. I got a question on what you just said. You said
Go
I
ahead.
I get what you're saying, but just so the audience don't confuse, because it almost confused me. When you said they're seeing their name, which name are you talking about? Are you talking about a family name or a tribe's name?
Tribal name.
Okay, all right, just clearing that up.
Tribe. So I'm gonna give an example right here. So we all seen this before, right? I don't want to make sure I'm good. Uh,
Yeah, that's on the screen.
we all seen this. So my thing about this is, I, what's the date on the map? That's one thing, right? We got to find out who making the maps, but the dates on the map are just as important because they give you an estimate of what really was going around what time period, so you can see what was going on. Now, in this map, you have the Congaree or whatever. I think that's what that is broke off.
Yeah,
Then
it's
you
the
have
Thundery. That's the
all
Thundery.
right. Then you have the Chickasaw, the Uchee, and what they consider to be the upper and lower creeks. Obviously, this is an English map. Let's talk the facts. This is obviously an English map. The way we know this is because one, they have the word creek, they have upper and lower. So the Spanish never used the term creek when dealing with the people that inhabited that land that is noted as Lower Creek. But also, you notice the Yuchi and the Chickasaw are on the border between Georgia and modern day Georgia and present day Carolina. Excuse me. So I would ask, when did the Yuchi and the Chickasaw get to that particular place? And that'll help us figure out the date or the projection of the date that they're trying to push, right? Now, we've also seen this map right here. Let's talk about this map. This map we see appears to be older. And the reason I say appears to be older is because here it's showing you the southeast as DeSoto knew it, but also by way of a fucking Englishman. Let me get this up here. Hold on. Also by way of Englishman. So you have let me drop this. So now notice, you see Chickasaw right here on the left side of the screen? It's not in Georgia, is it? It's not in Carolina, is it? So at what time did those people leave that spot, that particular place right there, and migrate over to where the Muskogee were or are on this particular map? The second thing I want you to notice, peace. The second thing I want you to notice is you'll see Alabama and Mobile. But notice Alabama and Mobile are separate from Muskogee. Alabama and Mobile are separate from the Chickasaw. Alabama and Mobile are separated from Choctaw. But if we go back to this map, the Alabamas would be considered what? Upper Creeks.
Upper Creek and Lower Creeks.
Dagger. So at this map, you're looking around 1670. Not even. This is 1730 projection
Okay. Older
because
than that. I mean,
come
newer
on,
than
yeah, it's newer than 1670 because you have the Yuchi in the Carolinas.
then,
But
and that kind of correlate with them saying when they leave and then they came back, they would have had to come back up through the savannah. Well, not have to, but choice route to come back into the land.
that's the way they came back up the land. But Pete, let's go back. The Hichiti been in the southeast for a long ass time. But the Hichiti and the Chickasaw are the same people. So we see Chickasaw back or over east with their family. But you see, Yuchi is in Tennessee and not Georgia.
Right.
So what time period is this? Because in the place that they say the Yuchi were on this map, now it's saying Yamasi with the Kasabo above the Yamasi, but then to the west of the Yamasi are the Hichiti. Who are the people they're calling Yamasi on this map? You see how easy to get confused?
Right,
especially,
and also
especially,
like
especially when you don't know who the
what?
people are.
Facts. What you was going to say, Mark?
My bad, my phone switching off of Wi-Fi, but they put the Yama, they put the Yama where most maps show the Wale, and then they put the Kusabo where most maps show the Yamasi.
Why?
And then look, Catawba land is way bigger than what it is today.
Facts.
nephew,
And
nephew,
look how much it
nephew,
encompasses. Talk to me.
nephew, nephew. Wale had asked you my why. Why did they do that? Why did they put the Kasabo and the Yama right there on the coast where Wale is? He asked you why.
Um, nah, that I don't know. I just now realized it. I mean, Well,
I'll tell you.
I already know about the Yama, but I don't know about the Kasabo reasoning. I don't even know why it switched. That's why I just said it, is because I really
Uh,
technically know why it switched. I know why the Yamasi is where it is, but I can't tell you why it switched. Nor can I
because
tell you why the Kasabo, even if it switched, why would they put the Kasabo that far low anyway if it flipped?
Wale, you want to answer or you want me to answer
Now I'm gonna let y'all go ahead. I'm just saying I didn't know.
Nah, you
it?
could go ahead. I'm gonna post something.
All right. If you remember what Queen Quet said, I don't know if you heard what Queen Quet said, but remember
Hmm.
she talked about the Kasabo? Remember when she talked about that?
I
When
no,
she
That's
I
her
said
didn't.
she was
people.
I didn't watch that build.
Oh yeah,
Not
okay. So
not the
yeah,
full.
that's
Not
her
the
people
full.
though.
So that's probably why I'm confused. I ain't listen to the full build.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know how dealing with this time, they was trying to say that the Iwa or the Wale was extinct, but that's not so because remember that some of the Yama actually be well, let me put it like this. The people in them was calling the Wale Yamasi when it wasn't, but they actually had Wale who became known as Yamasi.
Facts.
Right? Yeah,
That's
I knew
that
that. I
that
knew
but
that. If that was the point you was trying to make, I knew that. Get the game.
I know you
so
did.
Thank you.
But that's when we had to deal with the Casabo part
right.
right there.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna post this for you, right? You can find this on Georgia's Martyrs. This the part where I crush food with. So the Kasabo, a group inhabiting the area north and northeast of the Savannah River, mostly in present-day coastal South Carolina, reaching into the present state of Georgia. That area was known in a general way to the Spaniards as Orister or Escamucu. The Kasabo people were closely associated with the Wale and spoke a language basically the same as the Walean. Commonly, the Spanish referred to the Kasabo people and their territory by the term Orista. If you study the language, there's no L, there's no let. I'll put there's no let, la, lo, whatever. Them crackers actually was, if you go, the further you go back, the better you'll see them transliterating the actual names of these places. So what I'm saying is Orista, Escamuku, Sakuhachi, Ufalagui, all of those people were considered to be Kusabo by way of the Englishmen.
Hmm.
Not knowing that those people adopted the term Kusa from the
Hmm.
people that brought them maize.
Hmm.
So Europeans renamed them the people of maize, just like, but in a somebody else's dialect. So you see Kusa, that's Musqua, but Boo, Bow, and Bo are so-called Suan suffixes. So when them crackers are putting on the map and they say, well, the Kasabor right here and the Yamasi right here, remember, it wasn't until the past 100 years that anybody knew that Wale and the Yamasi were two separate groups that inhabited the same territory. You got to remember this. So the Englishman is saying, well, all of them are Yamasi, these are the Hichiti, these are the Muskogee, these are the Catawba, these are the Cherokee. Not one of those words existed when they pulled up on the land.
Right.
So Cherokee is the border between the Yuchi and the Catawba, Muskogee, Hichiti, and the coastal people. When in reality, there was no Cherokee at that time. So
Right.
posting a map
I was just
from the
about to say
ancient
that
world,
even exist yet. So that's still
cause
Right.
you come on, you know how I build.
that's
I'm gonna
still
make my way around that bitch.
that's still all Uchi land.
Come on. And if
And
we
that's
keep it
why.
real, go ahead, talk to me. I got the dagger. I'm gonna get the dagger. Go ahead.
And if we want to keep it real, the UT control the Savannah interior.
Continue.
and that's why the Cherokee silhouette or syllables, everything is coming from the Uchi.
It coming
Facts.
from it. Come on now. And this is why people didn't see the connection between Yuchi and fucking Catawba. It's because somebody came in and actually split the people.
In between, because they are
Come
between.
on.
Look, they right
Facts.
there in
Come
between the
on.
Uchi and the
But then,
Kasabo.
come on. And then they took the name of a people that DeSoto called what? Hold
The
on.
Anikita.
Chalakwe.
Salak.
Chalakwe.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So we would have said, because if we were speaking Muskogee, we would have said Chiraqui. When speaking to DeSoto, someone that speaks fucking Muskogean was his guide. They weren't from Ichisi. They were actually from Kofita. And if you know anything about the wars, Kofita Chekwi and Kofita were at war.
Mm-hmm.
Kofita never even invaded Kofita Chekwi. They never got they never made it into Upaha for real, or the big town of Upaha. So now the Muskogeans are telling DeSoto, after we leave Kopatechekwi, we're going to go over here and we're going to go to the Shalakwi. Some ignorant European Englishman didn't have La in his language.
So he
I mean,
put the
excuse me,
rock.
Ra, my bad. He didn't have Ra in his language, so he put La or Le. This is where the Shalakwi come from. Then
Uh-huh.
the Englishmen come and say, "Well, I don't have Le," and he put the Ra back. But then when he
Mm-hmm.
put the R in it, he said, "Wait, this got to be the Cherokee of modern day," and he was wrong. They all were wrong, because
Mm-hmm.
if you look at the people who were originally called Shalakwi or Jorora, the Cherokee still call them Anishawakli today.
Mm-hmm.
You hear it in the word Shuwakli, but why? If you study language, Wah is older than Ruh and La. So the people, they didn't have Ruh in their language. So we would have said Shuwara. They would have said Shuwawa. Suwawa. The Cherokee came in, taking pieces from everybody, said, these are the Ani Shuwa. They got that suffix from a people that's,
Mm-hmm.
uh-oh. You see that people that's right under the Cherokee? That's who gave them the suffix when they came in. Because the Cherokee came in and killing off the Ani Kutani. When they came in and killing off the Kitawa, they settled right there between everybody. And that's how you get the Yuchi then moving into the South. And the
Mm-hmm.
Chickasaw, who were out west, moving into the South. So you could post a map and show a map, but if you don't really know what's going on, you can confuse yourself and the people.
And that's what they did.
So yeah, that's literally what they were doing. So if we look at this projection, right? This is a projection of the those travels. So when he traveling through so-called Timucuan territory, right? And he get to Appalachia, what you all would notice is look at the town above Appalachia,
That's in the 1520s.
Dagger. Now, I mean, this the point. You have
Town
Muskogeans
right
all over
above
this map.
the town right above Appalachia is where we just came from back in July.
Come, all right. So what if there's actual writing where these crackers will tell you, but there's also a town called Upaha above the Appalachian. That's a neighbor to the Appalachian. See, they don't know the language. So when they see Kofa Chiqui and someone else says Kappa Chiqui, they were Like, hold on, wait.
Or Kofa Takui.
Oh, Kofa Takui, facts, because you have Kofa Takui, facts. What happened? Somebody came and said, hey, I know where to take you at. Where I go at? We gonna walk way over there. See, it's a lady over there, and she rude and all of this. And then DeSoto, after so many days, ended up asking Pel Rico. DeSoto say, peace, good morning to everybody in the chat. DeSoto asked Pel Rico, he say, bro, it's been 5 days. We ain't make it there yet. You know where you going? Del Rico say, no, I never been. They took y'all away from the actual fucking town because it was closer than they thought. And then they had a guy take them way to fucking South Carolina and say, hey, this is another big town right here. But Puerto Rico ain't make it. DeSoto got the enemy to help invade the Upaha, which were the Kofita. And they really was called Kowita. Oh, I don't think y'all ready for this conversation. Y'all sure y'all ready for this conversation, bro?
I already been there. Let's go.
Are
Take us
y'all
down
sure
the
y'all ready?
rabbit hole.
It's a lot of invader ass niggas that be claiming a lot of shit that don't belong to them. Excuse my language to all the women in the but mama, auntie, this how it gonna be. My mama and auntie accepted. I'm gonna need y'all to do the same. It's a lot of people that claim bloodlines that help take down the ancient bloodlines. And then as they started to take these people down, they became the major players. Muskogee is not a Muskogee word. Cherokee is not a Cherokee word. Yuchi is not a Yuchi word. So who's the fuck is doing the talking? Kataba's not a Kataba word. Yama or Yamasi didn't come from the Hichiti speakers. Somebody else called them that. Excuse me, wait,
Right.
let me change it. Yamasi come from the Muskogee. Yama was already rooted in the Hichiti, the people or the Hichiti people. It's a fact.
Right.
So Kasabo didn't come from them calling themselves Kusabo. Who's doing the speaking? Who's doing the teaching?
It was the
Now,
invaders.
come on, it's the invader. We ain't never draw no fucking map and say this where the Yamasi at.
Nah, they was gonna walk into our lands and see them totems.
Y'all know my favorite saying? Oh, spy boy. Oh, spy boy. So when we looking at stuff like this, right? And then we can go back. I'll take it here. We have OQ or Okwate. Okwate and Oconee. I don't know if nobody. I don't think nobody ready for that. I think I just should chill.
Hey, nah, I already knew that. Keep going. Hey, look at the river itself. Not only that, we talking about the dialect and the people, right? I heard my guy shout out Chief the war chief in the Shata Ola, uh Chief Wild Fox. When he even tried to say the word powers on there, he say Oconee a whole lot different than than what it would be said in Georgia or in South Carolina. So we know the difference in the dialects and how they can switch up.
Orkney.
That and sometimes no, because he was saying Oshoni.
Yeah, he say Oshoni, but I'm telling but when he was saying
Mm-hmm.
it, I already translated. I was like, when he say Oshoni, I was like, you mean Oconee? And he was like,
Just
yeah, that's
yeah.
it. So we already knew we was on the same wavelength. He's speaking a different dialect than how I would say it.
Well,
Right.
that's the way how it was back then.
Right.
Facts.
Because we not
Facts.
the same people, right? So we supposed to speak it different.
That and you like you have dialect continuum. So we know how well we know the oldest form of how the name became to be, but we still all may pronounce it different based on locale, uh, all of that shit. But it's
Facts, facts.
vocalization. It deals with it deals with you because not everybody make the same sounds, and the human vernacular can only make a limited amount of sounds. Some sounds are manufactured. La is manufactured. Babies have their own. Babel is an actual language. There's an actual syllabary for Babel. What I'm saying is when you have universal sounds, so we can pronounce this shit different. I might say Iba'a. Somebody says Yupaha. Someone else say, or Lay might say Iguaja. Iguaja. Somebody might say Igua'a, but it's all the same, different dialect. So that's
Like
basically
tomato,
what,
tomato.
you know, come on. So
Potato, potato. Yep, for sure.
Yeah,
that's how things go. But when you get into the maps, we can't say none of these maps are for show
Right.
because they don't even know who they was running into.
right.
They don't know who they was running into.
The only way they would know that is if they documented it how it sounded. So unless
Right. And then they would be using their script.
right. That's why I said
You
documented how
still,
it.
yeah, they'd be using. So, and we go back to this right here. That's the this green. We gonna actually. I'm gonna show y'all. Fuck it. The Yuchi called themselves Yupaha. Tell me I'm wrong.
Now that's a fact, but that's because before they called themselves Uchi, we already know what they were before Uchi.
What they were before being Yuchi.
Hmm.
The people that's there, that's Cherokee, aren't Cherokee. That's the Shawakli, and the Jirora, or the Jirora, who are the Shawakli. Who did they say they belonged to? The lady of Yupaha. Tell me I'm wrong.
That's a fact.
When she left the big town of Yupaha in the east, she went to the Jirora. She went to the people in the north. Pause. The Catawba is a confederacy of different groups like the Saponi, the Tutilu, the Catawba, and many different other groups. They called themselves the Niyi, the people, Niyi. But on the treaty of, I'm not going to say, the land was called Upaha. Tell me I'm wrong. The Kasabo said that they were Upaha. The people that's being called Yamasi on this map, because it's old, if updated, they would properly be the Wale. And the Wale were called what? Iba'a.
Fact.
The Hichiti and the Muskogee became one people all over again. They were known as the Hichiti. So there was no Muskogee at the time. They all was Hichiti. When you look at this map and you see from Chickasaw to Shatta all the way over to that coastal area, damn near that coastal area, that's telling you the migration of the Musquaw. I've been teaching y'all this shit.
Yep. And
I've been.
it's in
Go ahead,
their
cuz.
oral traditions.
It's in their oral traditions. Watch this. Adikata, I went to see, right? Hold on, view. Who the fuck is this? Hold on. Oh, he's weird. But you have the Adakata. They became the Hichiti. But you have them going up to the north. These are the Chickasaw. They became known as Chickasaw. We're gonna do the whole story. The Adakata go up, they become known as Chickasaw. Some of them were in Cahokia. These are the Yama. The Chickasaw are Yama. The Shatta are Yama. When the war happened, They split into different Chickasaw going up. Some would stayed up, but others came down into Georgia or present day Georgia. When those came down, the Muskogee was conquering the Alabama and made it over into Georgia and met the Hichiti. And the Hichiti called them Ochesi. And they called the Hichiti Hichiti because they remember the Hichiti were the Arakata. They went to see where the sun came. They left first. They were already in the east.
Mm-hmm.
Chickasaw and Shatta split. One went north, one went south, and one stayed. Shatta continued to move. Excuse me, Chickasaw continued to move. Shatta stayed back.
Mm-hmm.
When Chickasaw went to moving and doing what they was doing, Coweta, Kushita, and it's one more group, the
Hey,
Abika.
hey,
Go ahead, cuz.
I don't know if this is mentioned, but I don't remember you mentioning it. But when you just said the Choctaw and the Chickasaw split out here, they did it again as well. The Chickasaw also become the Chickasha, two different tribes, same people.
Mm. So that's interesting. But now you get this, say you get what you're looking at right now. This is how, with the exclusion of the Cherokee, because we know who that are, excuse me, who that is. Same thing with the Catawba, the Kusabo, and the Yamasi. We know who these people are. The Hichiti. Notice, I want you to notice this. You notice all the interior, quote unquote, Tamuquin towns are labeled under the would be technically Hichiti. According to the map, I'm not saying they are, but according to the map, you have a people that's considered an ancient people, but aren't even mentioned. So who created that classification?
Boy, they ain't gonna like us for this.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, this should give people an idea of what the fuck was going on. Because if there was a major war and then the Muskogee came conquer, and DeSoto come up through the land and he talking to these people and they send him over here, and he talking to these people and they send him over there. But whole time they was keeping something secret on the Chattahoochee. Then the question becomes, why? How in the fuck could you follow be a Creek town when it existed in the 1500s in Georgia, Carolina, in Georgia and Carolina, and in Florida, present day Florida? Tell me I'm wrong.
You're right.
All of this was called Upaha before the Muskogee or the people that they're calling Muskogee. They weren't there.
Right.
There was no Catawba. The whole coast, the Catawba, the Shalakwi or the Sharara, and the Yuchi all called themselves Upaha. Someone came in and settled in the middle of all those people,
Hmm.
and they together controlled the trade. This is how you get this. Now, in the Yuchi left Tennessee and came down the Savannah, but there's no more Appalachia. Those are lower creeks. And there's no more Alabama. Those are upper creeks. When you talk about this shit, or when you drop it, explain it in a way that they can understand this is what's actually going on. Because I've been in plenty, right? And they say, well, my people, let me see here say, my people are the Ichisi. and you ask what was the Ichisi relationship to the people that later became known as the Oconee. Because if OQ and Oconee are one and the same, I'm saying if, because I'm leaving it up for somebody to challenge me, to test it. If OQ and Oconee are the same, what is their relationship to the Ichisi? And how would you say both of those terms in English? But you'll have some guys making claims on Oconee people, but don't know them people, have no ties to them people. You will have some people saying, well, I'm this, but my people are the Hichiti. In the ancient world, niggas know. Didn't it wasn't as it wasn't as how can I say it? Everyone didn't use it the same way. A lot of people dropped it. So you will see ETC. But if your ass spoke that shit for real, you would know that's the Ochesi and the Ichisi together. That's the Hichiti, right? So you
Hmm.
should know there's a relationship between the Hichiti and the Okati, who became the Oconee. But now the question is, we know about the Hichiti speaking Oconee. Why did they have to designate that these Oconee were Hichiti speakers? Go let the Oconee tell their story. They'll tell you. It's the reason Oconee is its own language under the Timucuan banner,
Fact.
but no one is taking into account these migrations and this admixture. So shout out to those who are really ETC and those who are really Oconee, and y'all continue to tell your story because trust me, there are people out there who would have looked at this map and they wouldn't have known that those were the people. Excuse me. But if we look at that map and we go back and we walk it back how it was, the language of the people wasn't Hichiti,
And I
it was
noticed
Yama.
and I noticed something else.
All of these people were Yama. But it flipped you.
And I noticed something else. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you dropped.
Oh, I say, and I noticed something else. On this map that you got on the screen right now, which we all know is rather a little bit older, but it also don't show. It only show the Savannah. It don't even show the Oconee River. It's lacking like four rivers
Or the
actually.
Adapala. Yeah. But and that's
But
why I be
actually,
saying like, oh, maps, the shit don't be accurate. It's hundreds of rivers. Go ahead.
yeah, they got Buku rivers missing.
Yeah, they got a lot of rivers missing, and because they got those rivers missing, they miss out on the people as well.
And they forgot the people named the river.
And and then lump them all into different classifications of their own.
Right.
Because even saying Wale is wrong. Not wrong necessarily. I'll say this. Saying that you are Wale to us means that you come from the town that was known as Wale. Because everybody that was called Wale wasn't Wale. This is why the blue fire is important. It teaches you about names. Any that book, the blue fire is way more important than the green fire. The green fire is science. If you can't get the base, you have to get the basics first. Because you'll see everybody that was Yamasi wasn't Yamasi. Some of them
Right,
belonged other places.
right.
Everyone that was Catawba wasn't Catawba. But somebody said, hey, all of them are the Catawba because those are the people we knew the longest. So we're going to give all of them that name based off this group. but you have township that come with this. So if you say, well, I'm Wale, I'm Yamasi, I'm Muskogee, I'm Tamukwa, right? I'm Tuscarora. Check what town do you come from? That is what needs to be answered. Because when you sit back and you think about it, this shit is bigger than just saying I'm an Indian.
Right.
Fact. And it's bigger than saying you a Creek Indian. It's bigger than saying that you just, them catch all terms.
Yeah, you got to get out of that. You have to get out of
Because
that.
it just because it's just like you had some Yama who actually moved into Puerto Caligo, but that wasn't a village. That was the village of the
Right,
Iba'a.
right. That's a dagger there. That's a dagger. That's a dagger there. The same, but and it's the same. The guy Ali Muhammad when he was like, oh, all of these guys, all of these people right here, they were called Yamasi. And remember, I asked him by who. He blocked me. One question by who? Because he showed a map in the book, and the map say Yamasi, right? But if
Hmm.
his ass would have flipped 3 pages before that on the PDF that he tried to read so eloquently, he would have seen that the original people there were Wale. So the map he showed were the Wale being replaced in the mission system.
Right,
Dagger. This is how they became known as the Yamasi. Because a bitch that was Spanish
right,
went up there and said, hey, I know these people. These are the Wale. And the bitch say, nah, those are the Yamasi.
right,
So the Englishmen just lumped everybody together. The Spaniard actually knew the difference.
right.
It was the Spanish who cracked the code and was telling the Englishmen in the 1800s. Y'all know y'all got it wrong. Those are
And the
two
English
different
didn't want to
groups.
listen.
The English did
Right.
not want to listen.
And you know why they
Why?
didn't want to listen?
Because if
Because
they, it would have brought the people back alive.
uh-huh. And another thing is that the Spanish at that time, who was actually the
Owner.
God damn it. It was coming to my head. It's gonna come to me. The Castilians. It was known
Yeah,
as
the
the Castilians first.
Castilians. Yep.
Yeah. They was the big dog of the Holy Roman Empire. So even the Holy
Facts.
Roman Empire know what this land was. So the English was
Facts.
always hating on the Castilians, and that's the reason why they didn't want to listen. They wanted to have their own narrative and stuff. But that's what the thing that
Think
comes
about it.
down to it, right?
Yeah, because the Creeks were called English Indians.
Right,
The Wale were called Spanish Indians.
right,
This was what the fight was all about.
right.
They was fighting over land, but niggas was caught up in the in between. So the niggas that was in
Bingo.
the come on, when the niggas was in the north and the English started coming down on them in 1670, they ran to the south. But by the time they run into the south, you got to remember they just fought a war against bitches coming down on them from the north, which was the western. So by the time they get into St. Augustine, the people that were the Hichiti speakers were already in St. Augustine. They made it
All
there
right,
too.
right.
Then the people said, hey, Spain, y'all gonna protect us? Spain say, we gonna do our best. A certain group of niggas said, hey, we got the same enemy. I think we should go back to where y'all was living and we can live amongst the Englishmen and we'll be good up there. So
Because this
those
what
groups of
happened.
people talk
Mm-hmm.
to me.
Because
I thought you
I'm about to tell you. I'm
talk to
about
me.
to tell
Go
you
ahead.
because dealing with that. uh the or the Yamasi, when it became known as the Yamasi at that time, that's why that book said what it said, is when it said it was the Yamasi War in 1520 four. It was actually the Wale fight, right? But what wound up happening is the Spanish knew, because from what happened with the chief when they got their ass whipped, And the Spanish was like, oh shit, these motherfuckers whipping my ass. So that's when they wind up leaving and going to which became known as the Carolinas at that time. It wasn't known as Georgia then. So those that became friends with the British, they was like, well, since y'all fought the Spanish already, y'all gonna be our allies, and we gonna finish whipping on the Spanish ass. So they wind up becoming friends with the British. And so when shit started happening, because what people fail to realize, like you said before, and they didn't catch it, the Yuba'a War actually started in the 1520s and it carried over into the Yamasee War. And then the Yamasee War wound up carrying over into the Gullah War. And then it wound up going into the First Seminole War, Second Seminole War, and Third Seminole War. So basically, that was over 500 years of fighting on the East Coast. But people didn't catch that.
Yep. Continuous. We're talking about continuous fighting. But so I'm around like 1684. So these people go up to the Carolinas, right? What is it?
Hmm.
Stewarts, Charlestown, all that different shit. And they start to become business partners
Hmm.
with the Englishmen. A lot of
Hmm.
them, and it's those that were in the South. You had two groups. The English say, you know what? In order to stop y'all from fighting each other, we gonna separate y'all into two groups. So we gonna create
Hmm.
a upper Yamasi and a lower
And a warrior
Yamasi.
mind. Hmm.
The lower Yamasi are gonna be the true Yamasi by blood.
Hmm.
These Yamasi by blood were the Hichiti, the Okati, the Toa, who they call the Yua, and the
Hmm.
Tama or the
Hmm.
Altamaha.
Hmm.
And I'm gonna put an asterisk over that for a reason. The upper Yamasi were the Sakuhachi, Tulafuna, Sapalo, Lutzi, Ospo, and there was about a couple other towns in there, about seven of about six, because it probably was four in the lower and six in the north. What happened was those in the South started doing something that those in the North weren't really privy to. They were enslaving niggas. So they were coming into Florida and other parts of Georgia and taking people and selling them in South Carolina. Well, in Carolina.
Let's say what village it was now. It was those of the Atahama. Let's say it now.
It was the Altamaha. Facts.
Let's
It
say
was
it now.
Altamaha. And
Because you got a lot
when
of people that say, oh, the Yamasi was enslaving people. See, they don't know about the towns and shit.
it
They thinking
wasn't,
that it was all the
nah, it
Yamasi.
wasn't everybody. Yeah,
Right.
nah.
I'm glad we
But
saying that,
so was
nephew.
for sure. So the the people that were with Thomas Norn, they raided from Carolina all the way to the Florida Keys. So what happened was those Wale that were in Florida were still known as the Iba'a by the Spanish and the Talupa.
Hmm.
They made a call and they sent troops to the north. In the north, the troops basically told the big chief, which was from Ospo, like, hey, bro, your cousin down there said they enslaved your auntie. What are you gonna do about it?
Wait, hold on,
Bruh
nephew.
said,
Hold on.
go ahead,
Wait,
go
nephew.
ahead.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Also, let's tell them how it really went. The Westover was with the British and they made all that shit happen because when they went to Atahama, they told them, if you don't do this, bitch, we gonna kill the whole village. And that's why they did what the fuck they did.
This the thing. I mentioned the Westo kicking that off. Um, but the Westo did already retire to Altamaha.
Right.
So when the Westo lost their war to the Wale, what it was, 1658, somewhere up in that time. It was either 58 or 68, somewhere up in that decade.
It, it, it,
But
it was 68. It was 68.
it was 68, okay, because that's in
Yeah.
70 is when they created the Creeks. So in
Hmm.
68, the Westo lost to the Wale. The Wale had no guns. The Spanish was so green. They didn't get a Wale guns because they thought they were going to turn on them. So the people used what they had and fought the Westo, who had white British allies that were from Virginia or Yukon. And
Mm-hmm.
the Iba'a won. So the
Mm-hmm.
Westo retired in the savannah. So a lot of people that come from that savannah area region in the 1700s are the fucking invaders. They're the ones who
Mm-hmm.
stopped the Yamasi uprising. It's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Wale came down, long story short, the Wale came down and they had a meeting. Everybody that was Yupaha said, fuck it, we gonna join the war. And they got
Mm-hmm.
damn near everybody that was Hichiti speakers to join the war.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get the Yamasi war. That's
Mm-hmm.
how you read the remaining Wale, because they say some Wale went to the upper and lower creeks, but that didn't exist at the time. The
Right.
Spanish wouldn't have said upper and lower creek. The Spanish would have called them Yuchi.
Right.
So the Wale went into these different Yuchian groups, and then some of them unified with some Ichiti. Others stayed Iba'a. Some ran down into Calusa, and you can read that in the biohistories of La Florida. So you have
Mm-hmm.
some Wale that lived amongst the Calusa in the 1715.
But yet they're
But
trying to say that the Ubai is extinct.
they extinct. Niggas
Bullshit.
extinct. Ah, okay. Okay. If that's what you
Notice
believe,
everybody that was whipping their ass, they became extinct. When the Ubai
thank
was
you.
whipping their ass, they became extinct.
What?
When the Yamasi was whipping their ass, they became extinct. When the motherfucking Tainos was whipping their ass, they became extinct. Come on, man.
They
Ain't
do
no way.
do that so that they can control the historical narrative. If they can try to
Right.
Yeah.
control the narrative, they can control the land.
How do people go be extinct and they was fucking? Oh, excuse my
Yeah.
French, sisters. But we got to keep it real
Yeah.
and tell the truth. How?
See, it was crazy. Uh, community wise, I got an answer. Y'all ready to hear this?
Go ahead,
What
nephew.
happened? What happened if you stop practicing?
You stop being who you are.
That's what the crackers. That's what they were trying to do, and that's what a lot of them saying. That's gonna take us to our second half of this year. You have to practice. You have to be a practitioner.
If you
Like
Man, share
you
this
can claim.
video.
if you
Share
stop
this video. Y'all
if
gotta share this video and like it and come back and subscribe. Y'all got to. Y'all getting the raw, uncut, unadulterated truth over here. Y'all gotta do it. If you ain't got it on your page, put it on your page. I put it on my Instagram. I put it on my Twitter. I put it on my TikTok. It's going down like full flat tires. Go ahead, nephew. I ain't mean to cut you off, but
I,
this shit got
Oh
me
no,
excited as a
we,
fuck.
I,
we we needed that.
I
Go
was gonna
ahead,
say
This
man.
got
Talk
me
to me.
excited.
if you stop practicing, you become civilized.
Or better yet, a Christian.
That's a part of being civil, right? Is being in Christ. Um, and it's not to shoot down nobody's belief system, but because you can be Christian and have the blood of your tribe. That's a fact. But if you're not practicing, if you don't speak the language to get in tune with your ancestors, to be on the same vibe, then there's a part of you that's disconnected. If you don't,
And that's
uh,
what missions
go
was
ahead,
doing.
cuz.
I was gonna say, and that's what those missions was doing. There are documented accounts of our people saying that when they was in those missions, they were getting the language beat out of them. They were getting
Hmm.
traditions beaten out of them.
Yeah, that's the missions, that's the border schools, that's all that there. But still, at the same time, even though they're trying to come up with a narrative to say that the chief actually killed the friar because he didn't that he wanted more wives and everything. That still let you know he was still somewhat traditional. He still wanted extra wives because dealing with polygamy, that was in our tradition. So if that was the case, he still was like, even though I'm a Christian, I still want more wives. If that was been the case that they said in the so-called narrative, right? But we know that was false and everything.
But
But
to
at the same,
but today is just the same way as back as it would have been back then. If you can,
right,
con- if you can listen, it's just like when the immigrated family come into the Americas, right? That child's mother and father speak their indigenous language, right? They speak whatever language they came in here with. Then when they
right,
put a child in school, their child is going to be forced to speak what? English, right?
English.
As a
Uh-huh.
right? So then when that child go home and he tell his mama and daddy what he learned, he is now teaching them English and they speak Spanish or whatever.
Right.
I'm sorry, but they speak a different language. So they use the children in the boarding schools and in the missions to break the mothers and fathers.
Mm-hmm. 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 And this is why we're reaching our children now to
That's why
break them up.
take the child, take the home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the
Every
proof is in it today. Um,
Right.
a lot of people, a majority, a lot of people had to relearn or learn and relearn their ancient language, right?
Right.
You even have certain communities like the Yuchi today have a language preservation association where basically they're getting writings and old videos they may have with their elders or tape recordings, and they're
Mm-hmm.
basically bringing their language and restructuring their language again because
Mm-hmm.
it's pieces of their language that they lost. So if you don't have your tribal language today, it's okay, but start today, start searching today. If
Right.
you don't know yours, just learn one. Even if it's
Right.
not yours, learn it because you're gonna need it one day. A lot of this about is about getting back in order, back in tune.
And
So
then if you
learn
and then if
to,
your family and then if your family was a part of the Confederation, you spoke everybody language.
yeah, facts. And that's the thing about it. We have a lot of Confederacy families. So
Hmm.
it's okay. It's okay to learn. Don't let nobody tell you not to. Um, let's see. Do we have any questions in the chat? No, the chat not even blowing up like it was last week. We ain't got no questions in the chat. Munt or Crane, y'all want to drop something? I don't know if y'all want to take off or Reem. What's good? Cause I ain't a peek your ass out the chat. We're good. What we got? Y'all straight?
Peace, peace. Nah, I'm in her cut.
I was going with this build today because this one was a good one. Uh, the maps definitely tell a different story. Um, well, not tell a different story, but they put together the stories that we tell. But for the people that don't know what we be talking, they do tell a different story. So when you see uh three different maps and then you see the tribes that belong to those, you'll also see those migration patterns as the maps change. And that's what we was at. That's what was being shown.
That's what people keep on forgetting. They keep on forgetting the timeline. You got to look at the timeline. Look at the timeline. The timeline telling it all.
Facts, because man, I see a lot of people on the internet or on social media that'll sit up here and say, "Oh, well, I'm a part of this tribe and this and that, and we was up here in blah blah blah." But then I heard, but the tribe that they talking about is a southern tribe, so it's just like I already understand that they don't understand the interior migrations. So they'll say, "Oh, well, my people was way up here and we was way down there." Da 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 da. And it's like, yeah and no, because they don't know where they started.
And then you want to know what else too? In any of the Spanish records, the Dutch records, and the British records never say that the tribes were extinct either. It never specifically said extinct. It never said that. Because here you have it to where, like we just read or just went over, that some of the Yuba'a went to this place and went to that place and went to the other. Same thing that with the Yamasi did. They went to this place, they went to the. So if people supposed to be extinct, how in the fuck they go to these other places that it was extinct? I never saw anything extinct ever move to another nation. Never seen it. Never heard of it. I never heard of a dinosaur going extinct and move into a fish, but yet you see that a alligator and a crocodile, which would be considered as a dinosaur, which meaning a big lizard. So they're not extinct. Now, if you want to talk about the mastodon, I mean not the mastodon, what they call that, the tegalodon and the triceratops and the what's the other one, the T-Rex and all that there. If you want to say that, okay, but even if you was to say the rapture, well, what's a rapture? Don't they call the birds of prey raptures? You know, look at the ostrich. The ostrich have claws just like a rapture. A iwi have claws just like a rapture. So, did the dinosaurs really disappear? Did it really disappear? And then once again, how do people disappear if they steady fucking? But this would wind up messing their head up by them being patriarchal. They're like, if we killed the men off, then the tribe would cease to exist. But not knowing that it's a matriarchal society for both nations. So the Spanish men and the Dutch men and the Spanish men taking indigenous women, or even when they brought in our um Guinea family members, because at the time it was called Guinea in the 1700s. It wasn't called Africa. It was called Guinea. And if you got people them down like talking about Roots, but actually Roots dropped the jewel when Fitler said, "You see this man here? This man here is a Guinea man." He didn't say this man was an African. He said this man was a Guinea man. That was in the 1700s. So when you had family members that came from the Guinea that mixed in, and when you had all these different tribes from Guinea, with the tribal elders in them said, "Go get that Mandinka man, go get that Fulani man, go get that man and sleep with him." You know what I'm saying? Am I right or am I wrong, nephew? Tell me if I'm right or am I wrong.
That's a fact.
Nah, they had to
And
keep
So,
definitely wasn't calling
blood
themselves African.
alive.
because there you go, that's that
But
timeline.
then,
It wasn't called. Right. Go ahead, nephew.
but, now I was gonna say, but then Fittler actually told them like, y'all ain't never seen one of these before.
I
Right.
and
Uh,
on the updated Root series, uh Kunta Kinte's, can't remember his wife was, I know it's not Kizzy. Kizzy his daughter. But when she first meet Kunta when he first come to their plantation, she said, "Hey, we don't." She said, "Hey, we don't do none of them guinea ways around here. We not." She was letting it be known that they not no African people.
She was Cherokee.
Yeah, she was Cherokee.
yeah, cause that nigga
Hmm.
say
He
you. He
said,
said
"I
you're
don't know.
beautiful.
I don't
You remind
know
me
no
of a
guinea."
Mandinka woman.
Say that again, cuz. I couldn't hear you.
No, I was saying he basically complimented her. Was like, "Oh, you beautiful. You got the face of a Mandingo woman." She was
Yeah,
like, "No, Mandingo."
I don't know no that around here. We She straight told him off, like, I don't know nothing about that African mumbo jumbo around here. We ain't that.
Let me see. Let me see if I can not screen share, but I uploaded these pics. I don't think they could drop for some reason. Y'all can see that on the screen?
Yeah.
Because I bought a phone, so it looked tiny, so I
Uh,
can't really
we could see it on the
see it.
screen.
Okay, so Pete, you know what text this is that I'm reading, right?
Man, I can't even.
I'm gonna read it. Hold on. So it says, let me get that lab bit of smoke out. It says the implication is that the Deptford people who what does that say? Who show cultural continuity with the seceding Wilmington and Savannah peoples in Georgia were likely Muskogean in both language and material culture. Highlighted that pink because we know that's, whatever, whatever. It says this seems substantiated by archaeological evidence indicating that the Wale, the Appalachian, Wally, border or edge of known Muskogean affiliation were the end product of the Wilmington and Savannah tradition. Y'all pardon me, it's tiny as shit on the screen. So, but what I want people to notice is Granberry did something here, and people think I created it. They think I created it. But in this dictionary, which is actually great, it's damn near comparative. Um, Granberry is showing you that the term Wale that actually comes from the fucking Appalachian. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to make it make sense. This is the Deptford map or a
Right.
projection of what Deptford culture would have started and been at. If you when you read, I think was it Beneath These Waters, these archaeologists explain that ceramic wares and what they called it. I'm trying to remember I think it was something like she basically said like the woodland culture started on the coast and then moved into the interior. So in Beneath These Waters, they're showing ceramic wares, ovens, fucking ceremonial blades, all of these different things that are 10 and 20 and 30,000 years old or older than a new migrating people in who came with larger weapons. This is archaeology.
Mm-hmm.
So if we study archaeology or anthropology and linguistic anthropology, it would only make sense as to why the people that we know as the Appalachians, their word for the coast or where land and water meet is Wale. It is it shouldn't be ironic that the Wale or the historic Wale and the historic Appalachia were both calling each other Upaha at the same time. So there's something ancient, there's an older relationship between these people that you can find by way of linguistics. But everybody want to play with it. They want to jump, they want to go to history. Somebody regurgitating some other shit that somebody else regurgitated for years. Um, let's see. This here is from Swanton, and this you can actually now find on Wikipedia. But and where it says from this time, what he was explaining is around what it was like 1680, basically. So he says from this time the name Wale, come on, cuz, come on now.
practically disappears, and the people who formerly bore it are almost invariably known as Yamasi. It has been taught by recent investigators that the people of Wale and the Yamasi were identical, but facts contained in the Spanish.
But so I don't know if you can see the bottom, but Spanish
No, I'm trying to
archives, yeah.
show
So
that this is incorrect. Now I can't see the rest of it.
okay, now that's Swanton. So he in that same book he said from this point it would be well to consider the Yamasi and the Wale the same. So people take that part and use that quote to say, well, we gotta say they was the same because whoop de whoop de whoop de whoop. But if you continue reading his fucking work, I don't agree with a lot of things he says. But when you continue reading the work, he tell you, you know, I did have Yamasi and Wale classified as Muskogean, but the Wale, they had their word for chief was Miku, but Miku is Muskogee. And he cheated the proper language. The word is Miki. He say so either either Muskogean was the lingua franca of the land already, or Wale and Yamasi belong to different language classifications. And you know what the final sentence said? I am inclined to believe the latter. Niggas want to debate me because they can't read. I'm not reading it. There's nothing in front of me right now. This shit is all up here. But when you have somebody that can just quote that shit and throw it out there and tell you, I got the physical and the PDF. I read it so much, I damn near know the whole section of the book where you talk about the Wale and the Yamasi. Because he one of the first ones to expose that, oh, the Wale, yeah, they call it they chiefs Holada. But Gretchen say that, they use Holada for village chiefs, but Miku is the big chief. How many times did I tell you? There's a title out there that the Wale use for their chiefs. But when Miku came into the land, all of the chiefs that were priests became known as Mikus. Go look in the 1500s. The people the lady that they called the Lady of Kofa Techekwi was called an Ola on blood.
And
She
look,
was
don't they got
called
a
an,
song called Hola, Hola, Hola? Oh, that probably a little bit older than
but
y'all, but
but hear me
yeah.
out, hear me out. They called her by her real title, and then she told them that she was a Miku, so they couldn't treat her like any other village chief. She had people up under her. She was the big homie. But remember, Miku comes with the Mikutani or the Nikutani, the Anikutani. That's the priesthood.
A lot of
Come on. She was a whole lot of because she had villages. But once they linked up with the Yama, which if we go back to this map, Dagger,
she was a whole lot of once she linked in with the Yamasi and once they grouped them together, she become Miku. Or really it would be Mika. Apologize for the silence while they got a phone call. But that's exactly what he was about to say. The Olada becomes Miku. If male, when it's a female, Yolanda becomes Mika.
Yeah, they don't know there's a masculine and feminine to every word.
Facts, facts.
Hold on. Can I get a mic check, bro? I don't know what just happened to my phone.
Yep, we in there.
Everybody hear you.
Uh, yeah, I think it's because I be outside. My shit be running, getting hot. It's a new phone too, but oh well. But okay, back where I was. Where was I? Where was I? With whole lot of. So now you have Negroes saying, well, no, who was it? It was the girl on Instagram, not Instagram, Facebook. Quincyana. Like, oh, the
Uh,
Wale never used the term whole lotta. But then if you ask who was Olada Neek, they would have to answer. That's a Wale chief. So the difference is niggas is caught in spells. They'll say, well, that says Olada. That doesn't say whole lotta. Dumb shit. They mean the same exact thing. But also what goes unnoticed is the origin. So true linguists will tell you that the word comes from the Appalachian. This is two words that we have now proven that are used by the Wale. One, the autonym, Wali, right? And number two, the political title of what they would consider town chiefs or family chiefs, which was the Holada. When we run into Miku's, that's where I was. We're dealing with um the priesthood. So that shows you who was doing what when. Everybody wasn't a part of the priesthood, but those who were, they spoke Yama. They learned the language of the original people that came up from South America um, with the maize and the ceremony, which was able to provide. So that's something I wanted to put out there. Um, Let me drop this. Hold on. Let me drop this. Boom. Let me drop this. Boom. I'm gonna add this. It's some other work I got other screenshots I probably could add to the. Let me see. Now I pull them up on the screen. Do some work for the people real quick. Since I'm not on the laptop, I can't just move around. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I showed Satuachi. Um, Oh, and if any one of y'all get Thomas Woodward's work, Thomas Woodward actually speak on people in Texas in the 1800s that was speaking the language of the Yama. So y'all gonna want to check that out. I want to see what work is this in. I think it's the not so Cherokee work. Bump, 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 bump. So yeah, political titles, all of that matter. We went over the skull that was reclassified. Okay, went over that. Hmm, where can I find this? Matter of fact, let me pull up the PDF and then I'm gonna screenshot it from the PDF and just drop it on the screen. Hold up. Let me see. The true origin, is it the true origin of the Cherokee? Yeah, the true origin of the Cherokee. Uh, Olada. Perfect. We'll screenshot this. Boom. drop this down. I actually got the work in the room, but y'all can't see the actual physical work, so y'all will be all right. See, got the kataba, okay, boom, boom, and most interesting, several names, okay, boom, boom, break this down. If y'all want this work, just get at me on IG, and I'll be able to send the work out. This particular PDF, I think it's called like somebody. There were no Cherokees in 1540 or something like that. So that shit kind of fire. All right, let me go ahead and add these in here. If that's Red Crane, they ain't letting you back in, cuz. I ain't lying.
Boy,
Hey, you
what?
heard me?
Oh man.
Let
Why
me
you
see.
messing with Craig like that? You better
Hey.
let the warlord in.
and, and let me see. So let me check this out, right? And this is their debate. We know what's what. Let me pull this what's the name off the screen. It's a little bit about- So what they're talking about are the titles. So this says the office of polity chief, so political chief, but polity chief among the Notches was titled Great Son. Miku or Holada appear to have been used interchangeably for both polity chiefs and village chiefs among the 17th century Appalachia, Wale, and Timucua, and the policies encountered by Pardo in the Carolinas. So Pardo came in 1565. This is before the uprising. Colada and Miku were both being used in the Carolinas. Hudson, however, argues that Miku was restricted to polity chief and Orada to village chiefs, while Hahn suggests that the two terms had different geographical distributions. Miku being used by the Wale and other people in the Eastern Carolinas, and Holada being used by the Appalachians. Polity chiefs were usually male, but female chiefs have been reported for Kofa and other polities in the Carolinas and for the Wale and Timucua. So Han basically suggested that, hey, no, these are regional. However, he wrote that in 1992. Somebody who actually met these people 330 some years before him documented that the Wale were using the term Holada. But not only the Wale, who are known as the Iba'a or the Upaha, also fucking Kofa Chekwi, which is also known as Upaha. We told you our leaders were female. We told you they were called the Ola. Their nephews were the Olada, or excuse me, they were called the Ora. We were called the Orada. The La came when the Muskogee or the Ichiti speakers came into the land. And then we didn't have the Ta, so it was Da. You hear how I'm saying it? Orada, Orada. This is how someone came in and said, Owade.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. You fuck niggas didn't know Wale was the title of a chief.
Right? They didn't know that.
And it's telling you where he lived at. What is polysemy? You niggas talk so much bullshit. You niggas can't tell me what polysemy is. It's mean when a word has multiple meanings, but all of those are connected to each other. You want me to give you an example?
Wody.
Foot,
Wody.
foot,
Wody.
foot is an example. I'm gonna put my foot in your ass. But if I'm going down the mountain, I'm going to the foot of the mountain. If I turn my head to the opposite way I sleep in my bed, I'm now at the foot of my bed. That's polysemy, bro. Learn this shit. This off the dome. This is off the dome. Kola comes from the Hittite. Kola, Kura, Ogla, all of that comes from our Hittite cousins that moved into the land. Hold on, let me send this in the back because everybody about to pull up. The
Don't
dolphins finna
forget, don't
come on the
forget
loose.
Gula.
Go
Don't
ahead.
forget
Oh yeah,
Gula.
and Gula, but Gula is how they were translating the word Yalu, which means the swamps. I leave people alone. We're talking about polysemy. Let's keep it going. Out the fucking dome. So let's talk about it. So it says, this is from George's Martyrs. So at dawn on Sunday morning, when the priest was beginning preparations for Mass for the faithful, these bloodthirsty braves burst upon him in his humble abode and, without further ado, slew him. Does this not sound like the 1715 war? This happened 200 years before that. It's crazy shit. Later on, some Indians were to testify to the commonly known fact that it was the cacique of the Sufalati, that's Sakuhachi. Remember, it's certain things we didn't have, but they documented it their way. That's Satuachi. You can also find it as Chatuachi. Say who ordered, okay, at the order of Don Francisco and Juanilio, had actually slain Fray uh, Pedro, excuse me, with the stone hatchet, a macana. It says an Indian called Soho Holada, according to testimony given at the interrogation of the 7 young Indians in July following the massacre, was a major figure in fomenting the fury of the mob. He was said to have dealt mortal blows of the Makana to all of the victims. So, and now I showed you 1568 when Pardo was there. He said the Wale and the Kofa Techeki, who all were Upaha, had women chiefs called Ola and the males Olada, or both of them were sometimes called Olada. 30 years later, the Wale popped off on the friars. But Lucas, who died behind the shit, he had nothing to do with it. Chiquesa. And that's in Cherokee. Rest Lucas' soul. Lucas was one of the 7 boys who told them the Holada Soso. They call him Soho, but Sosa. His name was Sosa, real nigga. Sosa basically killed all of them himself, but he was a Holada. Continue. Read that. Let's go right here. We're talking about towns, right? Or political entities. And these boundaries. They said the two sometimes overlap. They were speaking on the so-called Siouan and those who became known as the Hittite. But the lesser towns of the Carolina, Piedmont, North and South, included all of these different names. So you see all of these different names, right? Cool. Some of them were subjects, right? It says a subject town of the Guattari, whose orata was a woman. The Guattari are the watery. Somebody said Watari, watery, but it was originally Guattari. Guattari. This is the same way Gua became Guali. And you niggas who be on TikTok, I be peeping you niggas. Don't think I'm seeing that shit. Let's see. So we also have it here. It says, what is interesting, let's talk about the Shawara. You can see it up there at the top on the opposite side of the Shawara. Talk about the other people. Right? But it says, what is most interesting is the name of several towns who Oradas came to meet with Pardo. And look who's on there. Kidawa. Kidawa, the leaders of Kidawa were also Oradas. The leaders of Tugalu were Orada. The leaders of Essetu were Orada. The leaders of Olamiku were Oradas. Somewhere, someone began to or created or gave something to the people, and the political title of Miku became the big title. We could do this all day. We can take off my screen. I don't got nothing else to
Yeah,
drop. Hey,
question.
Auntie in the chat. Hey, Omi's mom, how you doing?
You got
Uh,
you got a question up there right above that.
right up there. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely talked about that. When I
Okay.
was saying like the Ola, the Ogla, in a way, all of that comes from it means people, right? Or it can mean a people, like Shata Ogla, the Okla, right? You have Okla, like the Okla, and then you have the Oklahoma, but then you also have the Oakley Veja, right? Shit like that. So that's where all of that comes from on their side. If and in other languages you have like Arabic, Ola, and Hebrew, Ella. So there's ties to a lot of this different stuff, but all of these are definitely titles. Let's see. Who else we got here? Hey man, bro, you got one more time, bro. You got one more time, bro.
A quick question. Hey, question.
Go ahead, I'm here.
With the title Ola, does that got anything to do with red
No, red is Homer.
for the Shota? I mean Shota.
For, for the Shatta, yeah, Homer. Yeah.
It's interesting that in Muskogee,
But
Shati
Hola,
is
but
red.
Hola, but if you really listen, Hola almost sound like
Okay,
Holata.
I was asking that because when you just said Okla, and I just was thinking, Oklahoma, it,
Yeah, Oakland people, red people.
right? Okay, that's why I was asking that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
red people. Yeah,
so I was just asking that to make make a personal reference that um
yeah,
that Oklahoma is technically come from the Chata language. Okay.
yeah. It's like when you say, like you say, Bayou Gula or Bayou Okla, meaning people of the bayou, or yeah, like
Okay.
that.
Hey, and then yeah, I knew what Oklahoma meant. I just wanted to get a breakdown to make sure where where the word actually come from, not just what it meant,
Hmm.
but the origin of the word. Thank you on that. I second off, this is off topic, off chat, but I had just asked who is Lovey Lee in the back chat. Kid you not, right after I asked the question, she say, I'm Omi's mom. Like, dang, how she do that? Like, I asked the question off panel, and then the answer come up regardless. I ain't let the ancestors work. That's all I gotta say. Oh, cool, right. Hey, I was born in Tulsa too. I'm still in Tulsa. I'm a town native. But I guess I ain't never looked up the origins of the word. I knew the where it come from. I just didn't know whose language barrier, what tribal language barrier it came from.
It's Muskogee. Tulsa, Tulsa is a different
I'm
dialect.
about Oklahoma. I already know Tulsa what Tulsa mean.
Oh, you were talking about Oklahoma. Yeah, cause
Yeah,
I often say, boy, yo, I Kusa.
but never what language barrier it came from. I did know what it meant, but just didn't know that part. So, that was actually something I just learned today. I mean, I could have figured that out, but But yeah, when I dropped that dagger on them about what Swanton put about Tulsa and what it meant, the internet went crazy on it. Nah, bro, yeah, bro. Y'all what then people start Googling, I guess, like what Tulsa meant on in Tulsa's history, and they didn't even have Istatasosi in there. But you know, I know, we know. Wait, what? It mean the people ashamed. Yeah, kind of like coincide with the elders here in town. They always my like, well, I'm gonna say elders, but my mother and uncles and them, she was like, people. Tulsa always had a curse on it. Well, once you hear, you don't leave. You always come back. That's what my mama always used to say. Um, and it kind of coincide with the word. Oh, that trailer too. Yeah, it's a Muskogee. It's a Hichiti word. And then on top of that, listen to this. Check this out. The Muskogee Creek gave Tulsa to the Yuchi. Thank you, brother, man. Appreciate it, bro. I know, fine, bro. Have a good one, fam. You too. Yeah, the Muskogee Creek Nation gave Tulsa and Sapopa uh or Sapala to the Yuchi, and the Yuchi uh derogatory word for Yuchi is to be ashamed. And that's why we respectfully call it Yuchi so yeah.
Yeah, but people
What
you gotta do some work into that.
what'd you say?
You know, I was saying people got to do some work on that town name. So Paula too. It
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Uh
yeah it
yeah, that's crazy from children of to ashamed is wild. But that's not how the Yuchi put it off as themselves. It's just how the derogatory comment come off from the Spanish and the European. So
facts
that's just
facts.
put on that.
All right,
But
Cap, I'm on live right now.
yeah, we know who the Yuchi really is. Hey, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. Blue Cheek, Lil J about to close it out. It's 12 o'clock football time. You already know we about to kick off. So peace, love, and blessings to everybody in the chat. Um
Man, your team gonna lose anyway.
hush out, hush out, hush out. We on Detroit Tail today. Just kicked off. So I'ma holler at y'all. I'ma holler at y'all in about 5 hours. Peace, love,
My childhood team playing my home team, so I got two horses in the run.
and
My 49ers got to put it against my Saints.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you got a house divided over there.
No, I'm good. I mean, what is my hometown and what is my favorite childhood team? So I ain't divided.
Oh,
Whoever win, I'm good.
already. Man, I done spilled my whole slushy. But
Yeah, so I ain't gonna lie. Uncle Ed just came in, but unfortunately, I'm about to close out too. Cause the game's about to start and it about to get loud over here. So, um, I definitely want to thank everyone for tuning in. If you are currently watching, please leave me a like on this video. That's how I get noticed. We basically drop down in numbers. It's like we building a little tight community. So don't forget to click that notification bell that's on your screen because I don't want to aggravate you. Letting you know that I'm gonna be coming in. You'll get the notification. Um, let's see. This week, I will be back live on Sunday, so I'm changing the schedules to Sunday at 11 a.m. As every Sunday, being that college football um can kind of take away all my time. So Sundays will be the new day, Sundays at 11 a.m. And then what we also will do is if I can come on Saturday, I'll let y'all know Friday night. So I'll drop a post on Instagram and let y'all know Friday night. So y'all could be good with that. If you don't have me on social media, you can follow me at Horned Panther underscore. So Horned Panther underscore. And I'll get with you, DMs or hit me in the comments or whatever. Let's see. Say Wale Geechee. Um, being I'm about to get off, I'm not gonna go too far into it. But what I will say is, if you want to learn about the Wale, find someone that's actually living that culture. If you want to learn about uh the Geechee, find someone that's actually living that culture. Because I'm telling you, saying Wale Geechee, I'm nobody in the history have called themselves Wale Geechee, but never, never. The term Geechee don't even come from the same language that the word Wale come from. Trust me, brother. You be
Facts.
real careful. Be real careful. Please be careful. I know a lot of this information is exciting. It's new. It's refreshing, and a lot of people are upset, and rightfully so. So the information come if the information comes as is presented a certain way, then you can grasp the people. It's like when I was yelling and arguing and debating, the numbers are up. But imagine yelling, arguing, and debating, and yelling, arguing, and debating, and you're wrong. But don't
Hold
nobody
on.
know that you're wrong because they're afraid to test you. You get what I'm saying? So I want you
Go
to
ahead,
be
open the door.
very, I want y'all to be very careful. No, it's not. Geechee come from the Lenape. It's a shortened term. It's a slang term, but the term actually come from the Algonquin. It come from the
Push it in on
Algonquin
the side.
speakers. So it's a longer word. That's
There you
just
go.
slang. What the tell, boy? Where you been at, boy? You trying to run to the game? You cut nigga up for 30 years away. Yeah, though. So, like, I'm gonna get out of here, get in here, but study that, man. If y'all don't follow me on Instagram, get with me there. That's where I drop most of the little information. The information drop it was for you all to use, as bro said, your discernment. Because two out of three of those maps
Put it
were
inside.
DM'd to
Put
me,
it inside.
and someone asked me to
Back
explain it.
inside in.
I'm gonna need you to mute up real quick. And they wanted
Whoa.
me to
What's
they
that?
wanted me to go ahead and explain those maps. So with me explaining those maps, I hope that was sufficient. I hope the work was sufficient. And I hope that you all learn. I hope everybody's satisfied, everybody good. When it comes to the Yabasi and the Wale, The goal isn't to separate them, they were already separate. The goal is to simply show you that these are two different groups of people with two different origins who eventually came together in the ancient world for business and politics and eventually war. So there's a bond there, but please be very, very careful. Be real careful with that. Outside of that, also, you don't love your family if you don't share this video with at least one of them. I don't care how you feel about me saying that. Share this information with them folks. They need it just as much as you. Now we got more people coming in, and I'm about to get off. Y'all done missed all this good information. You know what I'm gonna do? Stay on my channel. I'm gonna end it, and I'm gonna play this video back. I'm gonna run it back live. So stay right where y'all at. I'm gonna click off, end it, and come right back to the channel. Peace.